Hello everybody, and welcome to the final video of Fighting Game Community List Week. As I established in the last video, for the last few days of 2024, I have dropped multiple videos going over the best and the worst that the FGC had to offer over this year, with this video being the final one. The ones that we've done so far are the top 10 best DLC releases, the top 10 worst DLC releases, the top 5 worst games, and the 5 best and worst fighting game teasers of the year. And today, we're ending off the year on a high note by discussing the 5 best fighting games that were released in 2024. I am very excited to discuss these entries, more so than the last video considering all of that was mainly negative. So let's get to ranking. But before we start, hey, I'm Zak Not Kyle, or Zak for short, and I love fighting games and I will make them your problem. I talk mainly about fighting games on this channel, but I also discuss other pieces of popular culture that interest me. I'm also a streamer, a DJ, a party girl, and more, so subscribe here and to my Twitch for more content from me. And with all of that said, let's begin this list. And as always, there is a disclaimer here, which is, please do not be a moron over video games where we punch each other. It is okay to state your opinions and explain yourself in the comments. I never want to stop you guys from doing that, but please, oh please, dear God, don't get stupid over literally games where we punch each other. It is never that serious. At the number 5 spot, we have the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Game Collection, which was published by Capcom in September of 2024. The Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection may just be a port of Marvel and Capcom fighting games as a concept, but there is a lot of stuff that has been added to it that makes retro fans incredibly happy. There's several amazing games like X-Men vs. Marvel and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that have been brought back to life through this collection, along with online play, rollback netcode, and robust rosters. I like a lot of these games, but I can't really justify putting it higher than the 5th spot on this list, mainly because this is just a revamp and port of several games, not anything new. While it is done well, you can't really go insane for it at the same time, so it's just kind of here. Also, there were some issues with online play and lobbies, specifically with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 from what I noticed early on, but thankfully, these were corrected. Overall, it's definitely worth your money and definitely worth your time. At the number 4 spot, we have Diesel Legacy: The Brazen Age, published by Maximum Entertainment in December of 2024. I initially did not think I was going to like Diesel Legacy all too much for a myriad of reasons, including but not limited to a small roster, niche concept, and rarely seen forms of gameplay in fighting games, along with the 2v2 mechanics. Thankfully, though, I feel like I was proven wrong in most aspects. The game is stylistically pleasing and well designed, the characters are all really strong in both gameplay and design, and the 3 lanes in 2v2 game mode work together surprisingly well, definitely much better than what I thought it was going to do. I have my issues with it still, with the primary thing keeping it from going any higher being the incredibly small roster by tag fighter standards. At any given time, you can have 40% of the roster being used in a tag fighter. That isn't a positive thing. Even with this though, the sprites and UI are still beautifully done, and from what I know, this game is hand-drawn, so like massive props to them for that. And I'm looking forward to the next things coming out of this game. At the number 3 spot, we have Rivals of Aether 2, published by Aether Studios in October of 2024. Rivals 2 had a lot going for it early on in its lifespan, and for good reason. A revamped sequel to a game that started as just a Super Smash Bros. Clone, getting further along and further recognized for the IP and fighting game it is so fantastic. And man, Rivals of Aether 2 did not disappoint. This game takes a sharp visual change in direction, opting to swap out its initial 2D pixel graphics for a truly incredible 3D modeled experience. The game is well rendered, and honestly reminds me a lot visually of the Skylanders games in its color palette and character structures. I don't know why, it just gives me similar vibes. The main knock I have against this game is that it does only have 10 characters at launch, which is incredibly small for a roster with this caliber of development. Here's the nice thing though. The developers of Rivals 2 announced that there won't be DLC for this game because all future characters will be implemented for free, and the only thing you have to pay for will be cosmetics if you want them. Like, hello base department, I have a recruit for you. The game is incredibly fun, a massive step up from its predecessor, and has so much coming out of the woodworks. I'm looking forward to it. Coming in at number 2, we have Tekken 8, released by Bandai Namco Studios, which released in January of 2024. I don't think anyone is necessarily surprised that this game ended up near the top of this list. The next installment in Tekken's long history of games definitely lived up to its hype upon its impact. The 32 character roster is one of the biggest base rosters of recent memory, including both fan favorites and newcomers. And every newcomer in this game absolutely hit, whether it's the sword-wielding Frenchman Victor, the arrogant Mishima newbie Reina, or the caffeinated dancing queen Azucena. All of them were met with memes, love, and a little bit of hate each. perfect for this game. The new music is incredible, along with better details on the stages and new ways to break and batter the environments. The combos are fun, the camera work is incredible, and the joy of learning Tekken fighters is still well alive. The competitive scene for this game is also bustling with activity, and it's just so much fun watching people find new and exciting ways to combo their moves. Even the new Heat and Special Style systems are implemented pretty well in my opinion, Heat definitely more than Special Style, but there are a couple downsides that kept this thing from hitting the #1 spot. The first is the Tekken shop. If this was there on launch, it probably wouldn't have been as much of a knock. Unfortunately, it is, and it was implemented late. Also, the DLC shenanigans did knock this thing down ever so slightly as well, along with the Genmaji Temple monetization nonsense that got them review bombed. It's mainly monetization that took it down a peg. Regardless though, play Tekken, this game is incredible, you will not regret it. And now at the #1 spot, we have Undernight Inbirth 2 Sis Celis, published by French Bread and Arc System Works in January of 2024. When I tell you this game made me believe in anime fighters again, I am telling you it made me believe in anime fighters again. I absolutely had to put Undernight Inbirth sequel at the top of this list. This thing is so incredibly good. It deserves such a big audience, even though it certainly got its recognition this past year. There's so much to love about this game. Firstly, while we don't have BlazBlue dropping currently to give us good 2D pixel sprites, Undernight Inbirth does some of the best pixel sprites and character design I've seen in a while. This game's learning curve is a little steep, yes, but its combo and tutorial systems make it so that you can build up to the skill levels you hope to achieve relatively quickly. Just be ready to deal with a lot of heavy concentration for this game's timing. It takes work. The roster is pretty solid in both size and diversity. All of these characters feel unique and individualized. Personal favorites include Hilda, Waldstein, Phonon, Batista, and Merkava, among others. There is not like a single ugly person in this roster. Everybody is incredibly done. The DLC is also incredibly promising, with Uzuki, the first DLC character, being one of the best times I've had with an anime fighter in a while. This game is such a blast to watch at higher levels as well, with the animation and combo systems being thrilling to experience. And my only complaint with the game is that the UI is a slight downgrade from the first game. I think it needs some changes to make it feel more lively. But aside from that, I love this game so much, even more than Tekken, which is one of my most played games this year. And yes, I am still salty that this game got snubbed at the Game Awards. I have no idea what they were doing over there putting Multiversus in over this thing. Also, fun tip, if you're watching this before January 2nd, this game is 50% off. I highly recommend buying it. It is so fun. You will not regret it. I promise you. And I don't even want to plug any of these games like that because that comes off as really shilly. Play Undernight 2. You're going to like this game. It is fun. And with that, list week is concluded. Dropping 5 videos in 5 days was truly an experience that I have never put myself through ever. So this was new for me, but I am very happy with how it turned out. I've loved hearing all of your guys' opinions on all sorts of different aspects of fighting games this past year, and even the negative ones too. It's definitely interesting to have some new perspectives in there. So what did you think of this list? What did you think of all of the lists? Did you agree with my placements here? Did you not agree with my placements here? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, if you thought I was stopping content for like any amount of time, you are so wrong. I'm dropping another video tomorrow, but it's not list week related. We're going at somebody for bad opinions on the internet. Bye, sis.